Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. You're welcome.
Yeah. You're known to be a very controversial figure. I remember the first time I really noticed you was when you did an interview with Time with David Ampofo. You remember those days?
Yeah, very well.
And that was back in 2007. I'll try and go into the archives and get a sneak peek of how young you were then. But what would you say your political trajectory has been so far?
Well, it's been ups and downs. Because some of you will describe me as controversial. Some will say he's forthright. Some will say he's what? You know, all kinds of names. But it's not been easy, but I always get vindicated in the long run. So I'm okay.
All right. We'll get into your main vision for which you want to run to become the presidential candidate. But let's try and clear some of the nitty-gritty, some of the controversial issues first. I do know that you're cast in the mode of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the president, as somebody who is controversial, as somebody who wants to be given the authority to make sure that you stamp your authority on all issues. There is the fear that you become more like the president, talks a lot and then does little.
That's an interesting question. I'm surprised you coming up with an issue like this. At least what I've done in this country will tell you that I just don't talk. I believe in whatever I say, and whatever I do, I have examples to give you. I'm completely different from anybody, and I'm not going to compare myself to anybody. It's Kennedy Agyapong. What Kennedy Agyapong believes in, or what Kennedy Agyapong stands for. And if you are comparing me to President Akufo-Addo, that you claim he talks and does little, at least in this country, Ghanaians are aware that Kennedy Agyapong, whatever he says, he does it. I've created a lot of businesses in this country. I've done a lot of good things to Ghanaians. A typical example is the 37 military hospital, where I'm building the cardio center. Some doubting Thomases have said that, oh, it's not possible. How can a Ghanaian commit $6 million to do a project like this? I like such challenges. So today, the question you put before me, it rather motivates me to do more, to prove you wrong. So I'm different.
You're different. We also
and I always turn my negatives to be positive.
Well, we'll talk about some of your negatives too, what we know, and then also what the ordinary Ghanaian seem to think of you.
Right.
Now, I want to play an insert for you.
Go ahead.
And it's on Ahmed Suale.
Go ahead.
You know definitely I'll ask you that question.
I don't have a problem.
All right, get me that insert.
I am very dangerous. What in Madina here? We share maybe I'm a panasu or buy a promises. I be a mistake. Me, Mumuno, near baby Amitia. You go a bad. Sa Ahmed no. Mun show omo pictures no near where. Somebody picture chirem. Mun ina amuso what in Madina. Yes. Ayinini. Boy no. Ahmed no. Oni. We a friend Ahmed. The picture back omo fan to so na yakesi. God good. The picture back what in Madina here. What bad premises of a muno.
So as you can see, rolling on the screen.
This is a boy. Or a bad boy.
Your exposure of this gentleman to the Ghanaian public killed him. That's the accusation.
See, with all due respect to you journalists in this country, about 80%, 90%, you are the people going to destroy this country.
How so?
Yeah, because you misconstrue people's ideas. Whatever the person puts out there, the import of what the person puts out there, you never even analyze it. You only take just a second of a statement made out of the whole statement, let's say 8 minutes. You take about 30 seconds.
What were you trying to describe in that video?
Yeah, and I still maintain it, because I will not come here today and tell you that I want to be president and therefore what is the truth, I'll say is not the truth. It is. He's a bad guy, or he was. And let me tell you, if you don't have the evidence, Anas used him.
How did he use him?
Good. All all those people that Anas destroyed with his videos and everything, Anas never showed his face, except this guy. This guy was bold to set everybody up. I have a lot of videos. Gentlemen, if you have time and you come to my house, I'll show you all the videos. There's not, with the exception of the Ivorian videos that I have, that you see Anas's face after the interview with the Ivorian ministers that he was entrapping. All the entrapment, it was Ahmed Suale who was sitting down with some fake Arabs who were saying that they were from the family of Sheikh Atani. So until a video comes out, you will never know that is Anas. But you know that...
Kennedy Agyapong, this is called undercover reporting. And undercover reporting, sometimes there are simulations that are undertaken to make sure you test the character of the person. To get the best out of the person, try to make a conclusion and a story. It's not wrong.
But you say undercover.
It has given you the image that you don't love journalists.
I don't care
You
about
discriminate against journalists, even though you employ some.
I employ people like you. And how would I say, would you say that I don't like them?
Not when you issue threats to them.
And how do I issue threats? You think you are the only human being who have blood in you because you're a journalist? I'm afraid I don't believe in that. Because this man, if you know the number of people that have been killed, if you know the number of people that have lost their jobs, we have to be fair to all those families that Anas and Ahmed Suale set them up. You see, you didn't let me finish. It was Ahmed Suale, you are talking about undercover.
Yes, undercover.
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 So why didn't he, Ahmed Suale, also cover himself?
Because
he
it's
was
undercover.
There. No, you are saying undercover, but Ahmed Suale was there physically. Call Kwesi Nyantechi, he will tell you. Call Edubuahin, he will tell you. Call these ministers.
So why did you expose a gentleman to the Ghanaian public? Ultimately, the accusation is that it got him killed.
How did he get him killed? His own deeds killed him, not me.
All right.
What I said was that the first video I showed, you see why I have a problem with some journalists and you think I don't have it. There are a series of videos. You've taken only this one. The first one, when I mentioned Ahmed Suale, my workers came to me, oh, Honorable, you don't know this guy. This guy has been here for school fees. You gave him 1,500 cedis to go and pay his school fees. And I said, I don't know him. So they said, oh, he has been coming here all the time. So the first video, then I said, this guy is a bad guy. If he comes here, beat him up. Because he's going to set me up. He's going to set Kansas City up. And my toil.
You said it on live TV.
Yes.
You brought the gentleman's life in danger.
How did
as a result of that?
What about Kwesi Nyantechi?
He was shot.
What about Kwesi Nyantechi? His own deeds. His own deeds.
So that's your conclusion.
His own deeds caused his death, not me.
You also had defamatory actions undertaken in the U.S. court in Virginia, if I'm right, against Kevin Taylor. You know Kevin Taylor very well.
Yes.
Yeah. And the judgment did say it is undisputed that Agyapong is a public figure and Taylor's sentiments were made regarding matters of public concern.
Right.
It does indicate that if you plead the Fifth Amendment in the United States of America, you're a public figure, you should not be afraid of scrutiny. Why is it that when Ghanaian journalists are probing, asking questions that lead to scrutiny and governance, you seem to have a problem with it?
How do I have a problem if you are coming out with sensible questions and the truth? I have a problem with sensationalization.
And who was doing that, Kevin Taylor?
That will cause the death of some people. You see, of late, the way bloggers and other media people are going about issues, if we don't take time, it will burn this country. So you are here mentioning Kevin Taylor. You think what Kevin Taylor is doing to the country and Ghana, because he's a journalist, nobody has to say it if he's wrong? Is that what you are saying, my brother?
I'm talking about the defamatory actions you issued against him in the Virginia court.
Yeah, and they are saying that once I'm a public figure, he can say whatever he wants to say. Case closed. It doesn't mean anything. That's what they said. Whatever he said against me, the court says I'm a public figure. So if you're a public figure, they can say anything. That is all. That is the judgment. So I don't know.
I find it quite funny. And since then, you've been on the campaign trail.
Right.
And subsequently, you seem to be throwing jabs at a number of your opponents who are key leading figures, including the vice president as well as Alan Chamantin, who was trade minister, etc. I'll play you an insert, perhaps maybe you might not recall.
Right.
Please, give me that.
It is only Ghana and I would the economy ni call IMF also your strategies. MPP for Oma clean campaign Ombenya because media okay may reply. Obi also your strategies. Also your strategies. Embra you taking over power. Not dollar your 4 cedis. And then dollar your 12 cedis. We are strategies. Excuse me, strategies. More strategies.
How am I throwing jabs?
Mr. Kennedy Agyapong, while you seem to have taken the campaign by storm, you also seem to be rallying up feathers, angering people, including your own friends, who now are standing against you as presidential candidate.
I don't care.
Who are the strategies you were talking about?
Yeah, who are the strategies? You see, in this country, unfortunately, journalists especially, most of you consume information without digesting. At least you should have given me benefit of the doubt and say that, why did this man talk like that? Is he a madman? Then you begin to probe into it. I specifically said, Mose, Moye strategies. It means something has happened. But you never bother to check what has happened. That is the problem. You see, when I come out like this, then you say I don't like journalists.
Because you were throwing jabs at your own government and key individuals who were managing part of the economy.
They are also throwing jabs. They are throwing jabs. Did you listen to what I said? Did you further investigate? That is the problem. If somebody goes there to say that we don't want a candidate who will come and tell you, I have built this for 37 military hospital. I have bought vehicles for MPP. We want a strategist. And you see, if he had probed into it, he would have known that I was not even referring to vice president. I was referring to John Kuma.
I didn't say that you were referring to a vice president.
Yeah,
I have not said that.
He said some of the candidates. Is John Kuma a candidate?
I'm saying some of the candidates, you're throwing jabs at them.
And is John Kuma a candidate? If you had probed into it and done your work very well, you would have known that I was not referring to any candidate. But you see, that stereotype positions that some of you take will destroy this country, which I feel is not fair. That's why I'm saying that at least give Kennedy Agyapong benefit of the doubt and ask questions. Why did he say this?
Now let's come to the subject matter of this content. Since you've been on the campaign trail, you seem to be unearthing a lot of issues and also coming to the conclusion that the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has inherited, based on the indicators, as you stated there, 4 Ghana cedis, well, it depends also where you're taking it from, 3.8 Ghana cedis to $1, seem to have taken it to where we are currently. And so it's incompetent. Is that your conclusion?
That is not a conclusion. But I was drawing the attention of the minister who was on the floor of the House by 12 o'clock saying that we are not going to IMF today, we are not going to IMF tomorrow, and 2 p.m. we announced that we've gone to IMF. And this same guy goes out there to say that we don't want somebody like Kennedy Agyapong. That's why I responded. So that doesn't mean I'm saying that MPP is incompetent. But I will admit that moving from 4 cedis to 12 cedis, you cannot shower praises on MPP. Read my lips. That's the gospel truth.
Does it mean that you are coming to the conclusion anybody who should be selected to be the presidential candidate doesn't need to be an individual who has served in government? Is that your conclusion?
That's not my conclusion, but it's a judgment of the voters. Those who are going to vote should know the terrain, what we are going through and everything. And one candidate that brings a new vision.
What vision do you bring?
My vision, pragmatism.
Which is what?
PhD means patriotism, honesty, and discipline. Patriotism, honesty, and discipline. In this country, if we can move this country, the situation we are in now, we need somebody who be bold to tell you to your face that what we are doing is wrong. And the moment I tell you, what's your name, please?
Roland. My name is Roland.
Roland. When I say Roland, this is wrong, you say, oh, Kennedy Agyapong is rude. I'm not rude, I'm confident. And here, in this country, Ghanaians misconstrue confidence to be arrogance. That is the challenge I have in this country. All what you are saying, everything that I've said have come to pass is the truth. And once I believe is the truth, nobody can threaten me because we are serving this country and Ghana first. So what I'm bringing on board as an experienced businessman or entrepreneur, my experiences I'll bring it to bear because I have sat down carefully, analyzed the situations and the challenges of this country. And I know that there are 3 key areas that if we use that, we can change the fortunes of this country. That is patriotism, honesty, and discipline. Ghanaians, we are not patriotic when it comes to businesses especially. Even our lifestyle. You see, my brother, let me draw your attention to something. Why is it we cannot say that Ghana we are poor? We are not poor.
Why?
Because foreigners have shown us clearly that Ghana is rich. Why is it that foreign investments are doing well in this country and we Ghanaians, our businesses are not flourishing? Have we thought of that? Have we questioned ourselves? As a businessman, I have come to realize that the dishonesty in this country is killing our businesses. Indiscipline is killing our businesses. So we have to make sure we are disciplined, we are honest, and we are patriotic. But let me give you one example.
Do give me.
You know, I go to a place, a moving pick, the UK, the visa section. I was going to take a picture.
The consular section, where they take
Right.
visas, yeah.
I was going to take a picture. And the photographer just told me, Honorable, we want you because look at those people there. They have received visas and they are going. And I can tell you, if I'm not exaggerating, between January to June, over 1 million visas have been issued to Ghanaians, and it's a drain on our human resource. So I went there and counted them, those in the queue going for their visas. My brother, 9 a.m., 73. And you can see the joy in their faces because they have no jobs.
And that is because of poor management of the economy.
Yes. And the poor management, it is not only the government.
Then
Ghana, all of us.
Who has the responsibility too?
You see, the responsibility, I know that leadership by example, that if I say, Kennedy Agyapong, I'm not going to do this, and I make sure my subordinates are also not going to do it. I agree with you, we can make a difference.
Are you the one saying this? Of course, you've not been in government. You know, all these things you're saying, we've heard it before. Prior to 2017,
right,
the president, then opposition leader, said we have so much money. You know about that phrase?
Right.
Great. And you are also echoing same. How are we going to know you're not going to turn out to be a failed Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the president?
Well, I wouldn't say he has failed, but if that's your perception and your description.
I'm drawing lessons from your conclusion that haven't gone to the IMF. That's failure.
Yeah, because I said to NDC, and I still maintain it. If NDC should go to IMF and Kennedy Agyapong says they failed.
So I'm taking a cue from you. You are saying that's failure. So I also conclude that's failure.
But let me tell you, I'm a businessman. I've created a lot of businesses and employed a lot of people in this country. At least my works show that this man is a different politician. This is the first time in the history of Ghana that we are going to have somebody who has political experience, about 35 years as a politician, and also 35 years as a businessman. So with this combination, some people say, oh, you are Donald Trump. I said, no, I'm not Donald Trump because he doesn't have any political experience. At least I've been in parliament for 23 years, so I know. So with a combination of politics and business, I stand out. And the business challenges that I've gone through
and experienced
has given me the experience. That is why I've identified the problems. The word patriotism. I see that we are not patriotic. You know, because you cut in, that's why I couldn't finish about these visas. When you see a Ghanaian, my brother Roland, you see a Ghanaian holding American passport, he's so excited. When you see a Ghanaian holding a British passport, he's so excited.
But you were in America, so why not us?
I did not, never, check your records, change my identity. I had a green card, I gave it up, but I never took American passport because I cherish Ghanaian passport.
Because you have a certain vision.